Welcome to our third, I think, episode of Centro Cultural Mexicano's podcast, Voces que Luchan, Inspiran. My name is Mariana Martínez. I'm the executive director as well as host, and I'm here with
José, Batista. I'm the events and communication manager at Centro Cultural.
Awesome. So today, as we promised you, right? Like it's not always fun to just hear about us. The fun part about this podcast is who we bring, and so we're really excited today to introduce to you Patty Zavala. So I'm gonna read who Patty Zavala is, and then we'll move into introducing her. So Patty Zavala is a Mexican photographer based in Seattle, whose work explores identity, migration, and cultural expression through editorial fashion, portraiture, and documentary imagery. Her photography is currently featured in our Dia de Muertos exhibition, which you can all still come see, showcasing reimagined Catrina portraits as a living symbol of beauty, resilience, and transformation. So welcome to the show, Patty. We're so excited to have you. How are you?
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome. So tell us about you. I mean, we first start with, we have a few questions and, we'll move on to the conversation and learn more about you and about identity and connection to our community and all of those fun things. But before that, tell us who you are. Tell anything you want to share before we go and dive deeper into the questions.
Yeah, well, you already talked that I'm a photographer. I also do marketing. My background is in marketing. So photography was kind of like a side thing for a long while. And we can talk more about that journey because I think it's interesting. I'm a mom of two beautiful, adorable, the best kids in the world.
How old are they?
They're 13 and 6.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Is 13 like a herd? Is like a
preteen?
Really when is teen? Teen.
I think 13 is tween.
No, but
as
teenagers,
soon as they have like teen on the name.
Then that's it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't have children, so
Jose.
They
start rolling their eyes at you like a 12. So that's kind of like when you're like we're tween. Like
okay.
So
12 is like 13 is the teen. Okay, so
yeah.
preteen is 12, 11. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Right, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They're really cool. I know it's a little cliche, but they really are like fuel and inspiration. And at some point, it hit me that I'm modeling behavior all the time. And I'm like, so I gotta do right not only by me, but they're watching.
Then they repeat everything you say. You have to be really careful.
Yes. And I have a bachelor's in communication.
Me too.
Oh,
From UW.
Oh, I studied in Mexico. I studied at Tec de Monterrey.
Okay.
A few years ago, it was so cool. I chose my degree because I really wasn't sure where to go, and I loved it. I loved my classmates. I loved everything about it.
And
so
didn't you also study in France?
I did.
I was saving that detail for you.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
An exchange program. I was there 6 months in the south of France. It was so beautiful.
Where were you?
So
Where
cool.
in France?
I was in Antibes.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. I practiced my English a lot more than I practiced my French, if I'm honest. Just I just hung out with the international people.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of languages floating in the air. But English was kind of the predominant.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So for some of you who don't know me, and so I obviously love to hear this. I lived in France for a long time, and I actually became a French national as well. Oh, cool. So it's a big part of my culture and my identity. And it's when it's easy to say when I moved to the States, I was like, I'm Mexican American, right? But too Mexican to be American, too American to be Mexican. Then you move to France, and okay, now what am I? You leave France, and then that becomes sort of part of you, who you are. And then you're like, I'm so confused.
That's awesome. Of the world.
Exactly. That's it. That's awesome. So you're a photographer. You're a mom. You are an artist. What else? What else?
It's funny because artist is kind of like a label that I struggle with a little bit.
Oh, all right. Sorry, baby.
No. I love it.
Okay,
I
good.
in an impostor syndrome kind of way.
Accepting, maybe?
Yeah, but it's weird, why? And I've reflected about this a lot, in the past year. And I'm I am. Why am I refusing to believe this? I do not know. So I'm embracing it. I am an artist. Hi, nice to meet you.
I love that.
Came out of the closet like an artist. Hello.
During our interview with Valeria, who was on podcast number 2, she spoke about, briefly, if I remember, about claiming the artistic word and also just affirmations and just saying to yourself like, I am an artist, and just affirming that every single time.
Yeah, I was listening to that
Yeah.
episode and I was like, yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's exactly what I need to like keep doing.
Yeah. I think sometimes it's like there are so many misconceptions that we have of a certain, right, like career or something, like, or like so many things that we hear in our own culture or by others who are around us about that you know, we have a hard time like sort of accepting. So sometimes it's not necessarily our perception of what artist means, is like what we are brought up to believe, right? Like artists struggle to live by, or like, you know what I mean? Like, so we carry those misconceptions and ideas that sometimes that's why. I mean, I'm not saying that's your case, but maybe, right?
Probably.
And like, why does artist? But then, so when did you feel I'm an artist and I'm coming out as an artist, or has that been like still like you don't consider yourself an artist?
I think so. I did marketing for a couple of years, and then about maybe 3 years ago, I was an in-house photographer for a local nonprofit. And when I got the job, I was so excited. I'm like, this is it. I'm getting paid to do content, to do photography, it was beautiful because it was a farm, and I was really disconnected from like farming and nature and the earth and the soil and the cycles that go in it. So I learned so much. But then at the end of it, I was like, this is not fun anymore. Like I realized that I was always creating for somebody else. I was always
I can relate
pushing
to that.
somebody's vision. I was always crafting somebody else's message. And when I would frame a photo, my brain would go to, what composition am I using so that it fits on the banner of the website? What am I using for socials? So then it hit me that, and I think that's why I struggle with it, because for so many years I created for marketing, I created for selling, for commercial purposes, for clicks and likes and tabs. And so suddenly I was like, where am I? And so when I left that job, I left with the intent of not going back to work ever. I'm glad that I have an extremely supportive husband who was like, yes, let's
do it. Yes.
do that. So then when I took that break, I had to like sit back and ask myself, what am I doing different this time? And how am I walking away from this need to create to consume?
Yeah.
How is it going to be different? And so I kind of like vowed, I'm not going to take any paid clients for a year.
Oh, it's like detoxing, like
yes.
Getting it. Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to say yes to the projects that like spark my, like that make me feel excited, that make me want to do it. Why?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter why.
Yeah.
Just because it sounds fun, because it sounds great, because it's a challenge, because you're afraid, any of the above are fine. But then the challenge of creating for my vision, for my eyes, for my work was really hard, because I feel like it was like a little part of me that was hidden for so long.
Right.
And then I was really afraid of that rejection, of that pushback of like, what if I'm making for myself, my brain, my eyes, my heart is not good enough. I'm so used to creating. I sit down with my because I went back to commercial clients after a while, so I do branding. And I love sitting with them and like talking about their brand. What is it that you want to do? What message do you want to carry with your visuals, with your copy? Like, what is it that you're trying to communicate? What stories are you telling? And so I had to ask, like, if I was my own client, I would have to ask myself, what stories are you telling?
Oh, I love it. It's like walking yourself through that process.
It was really interesting. It was really hard because at the same time, I felt like I had kind of like a commitment to my community to tell stories about immigration because I was an immigrant. And I was like, but maybe no, like maybe. And so I felt kind of like pressured and stuck in this until I realized, you're doing what are you supposed to do again. Like, you're not really asking yourself what story you want to tell. You're thinking, what are you thinking that you're supposed to be telling?
Wow. That's a profound...
It went places, y'all.
Yes. No, but I
like, you just make me reflect on my life.
What I love is that I feel, and maybe this is my interpretation of what you just said, and I think is beautiful, that sometimes we, when we feel, and I can relate to that career-wise because I actually started in the private sector, and like you, right? you love doing what you're doing, or you're doing this, but at the end of the day, you're doing it for money, or you're doing it for someone else. And when your values don't align with your career, it's like almost like you start dying inside, or every day. That's how I felt. And I feel like that alignment, when you decided like, this is not what I need to listen to myself and align my values to my career, or my career to my values, is when you truly start like blooming and blossoming. And I think that alignment happens to a lot of us, right? Like, we all need a job. We all need to get, pay the bills. And we don't perhaps believe that we can make a difference, and that we can be at a place and getting paid for what we love. And I think starts with that belief. So I love hearing that you had the courage, because not a lot of people do, right? Like, some people stay in their jobs forever, and, so.
Yeah, it was really hard to quit that job, because it had so many things that I loved. Mm-hmm. It kept me in contact with literally the earth. Like, right. I've never planted a tree before. I'm from Sonora. It's a desert. We don't really go around planting trees on the weekends. And it was really powerful to see, like, to grow it from, like, see the seed and then see the sapling. And then, like, the whole thing was extremely powerful to me. And I loved it. I loved creating content with them, and I loved the people that I worked with. So walking away was really hard. Right. But I'm really glad that I did.
Well, look where you are now. So I think I love it. I love it. Well, I mean, maybe we can dive to some of the questions that, yes. I mean, you kind of tell us, how did your artistic journey started? And I think that continues, right? But so why?
Well, I do have a question.
Go ahead.
Do you remember the first painting or photo that you took that you were like, that you did it first? You did it for yourself, not for any marketing or any client.
I don't know if I remember, like, you kind of like brought two memories to my brain. Yeah. One was my first art class. I was, I don't know, 11, maybe 12. Mm-hmm. And my teacher brought out a thing that I didn't know what it was. Like, I still don't know what it is. It was like a weird shaped thingy. She was like, draw it. And I drew it, and it was just like, like flat, like little drawing. She was like, okay, now I want you to turn away and draw it again, like from memory. And I was like, okay. And then I drew it again. And then she went, okay, now look at it. And I don't want you to draw the shape. I want you to see the light, and I want you to see the shadows. I want you to really see the light. Like, look where it hits, look where it fades, look how it moves.
Mindfully, intentionally.
It was mind-blowing. I think that from that moment on, I never stopped seeing the light and the shadows. And like, I
don't think I paid attention to this, but
yes, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. If you look at everything around you, you see how the light hits on everything, and there's like a highlight and there's like a shade, and it's what gives it that like 3D shape, right? Like, it's what gives you that perspective.
Yeah.
And so it honestly, like, obsessed, like I became obsessed with looking at where the light and where the shadows, how it hits. And I think I've carried that forever. I don't think that's ever gonna go away. I started like painting, and then I moved on to like water. I've played along with like a lot of different like mediums. And then my dad got me my first camera when I was 15. It was so cool. I have so many ridiculous photos of like all of my friends, all of my family members. I made them, now pose like this, now do this.
Practice. Yeah.
So it's been years without me really realizing, because for me it's play. Mm-hmm. Like, it's really where like my brain turns off. I'm playing, I'm enjoying. And more often than not, when I am photographing something, I'm looking at the lights. I'm looking at the lights and the shadows. I'm not so much looking at like, is my tummy out? Is my like, I don't know, girl, you look fabulous. Look at how the light is hitting your hair. I don't know what you're talking about.
And I love that about photographers that, enjoy their work. They make you feel comfortable, especially when you have to take those like professional headshots, and they're like, move here. Okay, the light goes here. And if they have that artistic eye, I think it makes it and then help you become comfortable. But I think part of it is when they themselves have gone through that process or understand those, complexities of what the image is going to look like. I remember taking a photography class in college, but like back in the day, those cameras you had to, you had to develop, and you had to go to the dark room. I wish I could. I still have it. I haven't touched it in years. So I don't even know if you can still do that.
You can still do that.
But yeah, I love it. But like, I think in shadows, right? Like they taught us how to do the north light, which is like, I guess the one that comes on the side. And it was like so artistic. I didn't even see it. And when you see it for once or for the first time, then you're like, let's do it again. Let's do you see it from a different, in a different eye or perspective. I love it.
Yes. It's really, really cool. I had a beautiful moment with my daughter a couple of years ago. She's an illustrator. She loves drawing. She cannot stop her hands from drawing. Like really, it's crazy. And we were swimming in the ocean, and then she's like swimming with me, and she looks to one side and goes, "Look, Mom, can you see how blacks how black the blacks are here, and how lifted they're on this side? Look, and I was like, what are you talking about? How are you like?" And it hit me that she's an artist too, and she sees these colors because my mom saw the world like that too. And like my mom has never stopped crafting. She's done all the possible crafts that you can think in the world, and we've always like painted and like done little things and like ceramics and like I don't know what's it called, repujado, with like the little like foil thingy. You've seen it, you just don't know what it's called. And like we've like journeyed through a lot of them.
I love it.
And it like,
so your mom is an artist as well?
She also would never recognize herself as one.
That's interesting.
Maybe it's the label. Like you're doing it. If it smells, or how does it go? Yes. If it looks, if it smells, then it is. But you just don't see yourself as. And maybe that's where it comes from. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of her artistry is in her home.
Okay.
Which I think it's beautiful. Like her house, it's really welcoming, and it has like it's full of little details and things and corners and colors and.
In Mexico.
Yeah. But she's always creating, and whenever we like talk on like video, she's like, "Look what I made!" Like we're always showing each other, like, "Look what I made!" So I do not know why she and I and probably my daughter do not recognize ourselves as such. But maybe now that I'm saying publicly, like,
I was gonna say, let's break the cycle. We are artists, as a family of artists, and let's own it, right?
Like Gen Z, which is your daughter, right? I feel like
I'm lost with generations after mine. I'll be honest.
I feel like they're more concrete with themselves and claiming who they are. So maybe she may be the one who like breaks the pattern.
Be like, hey, I'm an artist. I don't know who you are, but I am.
I hope so.
Yeah, younger kids are like more, I feel like younger generations are more assertive. They're more, willing to challenge the status quo. I really think that's good. We're heading.
And I asked that question to you because, so my boyfriend, he is very artistic, like draws, paints incredibly. And in our apartment, there is his first drawing framed, which is like just crayons of the Little Mermaid. And his parents kept that forever as a memory of his first ever
art.
Art, which is so cute. I'm like seeing that and then seeing like his work now. I'm like, oh my gosh, the journey. So yeah.
It's like being proud of, but I think that I love that because it's almost, you have to remind yourself how far we forget, like how far we've come, right? Like, or what took you there, like what it took for you, for example, to go to school and learn this. And then the moment where you were like, am I an artist? Am I like, and I think it's important to remind ourselves, like we have to validate ourselves before anyone else like does. And I think those moments
I was reading a book and they talk about a little bit about that, and there was like a phrase that really stuck with me. They say like as artists it's so hard to feel successful because we keep moving the goalpost. And so how are you ever going to say, yes, I did it, yes, I did the thing, if you keep every time you're measuring against something different? Right. Like if he were to measure his drawings with his current ones, it was like, oh yes, there's growth, right? If you see my first photos, if I see my first photos, I'm like, there's definitely growth here. I can tell what a big difference it is. But because we keep pushing it, we're like, not enough.
It's not enough.
Not enough yet. Not enough yet.
That's a commentary about life.
Yeah, no, but I feel like that's such a. I will say that's
capitalism.
Yes, 100% is the monkey mind. Is that you're not producing enough, right? Like you can't relax, or you it's like that never ending, completely capitalistic, I think. And I think it's just shutting down that monkey mind and knowing where it comes from. I think it will solve into that journey, like reminding yourself, like your boyfriend, right? Reminding myself that's where I am or that's where I was, and recognizing that the competition is with you, right? Not outside. But it's hard. It's hard quieting those voices, and it's hard to recognize it. Sometimes we have to hit rock bottom to right? Like that's why sometimes we exhaust ourselves to work, right? Like I'm guilty.
Oh yeah,
guilty of that. Yeah. I'm a workaholic person and recognize it. But like sometimes we have to, or when we hit rock bottom is when we're like, something needs to change, right? Like I have to be proud of what I do, and I have to be happy in the progress that it's my competition or that competition with me, right? Yeah. If you call it that.
No, yeah, absolutely.
I love it. Well, so sounds like your mom was a great influence in your life, and it sounds like, I think that sometimes that's, to me, my mom's like my soulmate, I will say. And I believe you can have several soulmates. And I think also one of my dogs is a soulmate. Who would you say, like, what would you say, like, who would you, in terms of influencing, right, like, in your life, beyond your mom, were there any other figures that influence your life to get to, recognize you as yourself as an artist, or maybe not necessarily, but at a point in your life that changed, that said, this person changed, or this person influenced my life in this way or this other way? Is there anybody else, or would you say it's truly your mom?
Definitely. I've had some great friends along the way who saw me before I could see myself.
Oh.
Do the gasp noise.
We have to get better at these things.
I think that I kept doubting, and I kept doubting to start projects. I kept doubting to do things, to share things. I would create things and like share them with like a few people, and like just you. Like don't share with anybody, and don't like I'm sending it to you.
Yeah.
But
don't you dare.
Yes, but it wasn't anything that I shouldn't share. On the contrary. And they pushed when I really needed pushing. When I really needed, like, you should do it. You should just embrace it. And it's been times where it's work that's already made, and they see, and they're like, just send it somewhere. Just publish it somewhere. Right. There's been times where they hold my hand to try new things. There's been time where they honestly just give me like a very needed pep talk. I'm like, listen, girl.
I know. My friends call my BS. That's what friends need. Yes. I love it. I love this. I love the habit. So this is why it's so important to surround yourself with the right people who align, people who can help you see not just the good, not just the good things, but also the bad things. Like, hey, ego too big, let's talk about that. Whatever. So I think I love it. Was it mainly women, or was it like a diverse? I mean, I think that's I'm curious, because that could also be a cultural thing, right? Where in Mexico we tend to women tend to be pinned against each other, and I hate that. I think we need to change that.
I think it's been mostly women.
Love it.
Yes, I really think so.
Like, wait, hold on, I'm doing the hard thing. How do the youngsters do it?
So it's now like this.
People my age, I'm just kidding.
I'm definitely I feel like in a very different way, definitely my husband. Not only through support, like literal financial support, but also like household chores and children support. Like I've changed dreams so many times, and he's like, okay. Yeah, you do it. Yeah, I'll help out. So I feel like it's different sometimes. Like he's not the kind of person who's going to come and give me the pep talk. But he doesn't have to. I have a lot of people who come and like give me, and I love that. I don't think he should do all these things, right?
Yeah.
But definitely he's I call it like more like a silent support.
Yeah.
But very unwavering, like definitely.
It's very loud. I think it's a very loud support. He just doesn't he doesn't like to take credit, maybe.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I think life, like you just said, right? Like your partner, oftentimes we expect them to be the lover, the friend, the, boyfriend, the husband, the father, which in many places, no, true. And it's not, I don't think it's fair, right? Like, I think life is like a pie where like a percentage of that is your friends, a percentage is your husband or wife or partner, a percentage is your kids, a percentage is your hobbies. And I love that you're conscious that, he doesn't need to do that. It's my friends that, I have friends that who can call me out or whatever the case is. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Do you have influences who are, I don't know another term, celebrities?
Just say it.
like famous that I know.
Famous. There we go.
That
Famous.
I can Google.
Yeah.
I love movies.
Okay.
I watch movies.
What's your favorite movie?
I think.
That's a hard question. I don't even know how it would.
Well,
it's a question we needed to send her to before.
That's an impossible question to ask. I have watched Finding Nemo an insane number of times. It's a safe space for me. Sitting down with a coloring book and putting Finding Nemo, it quiets down all of the things.
That's me and Harry Potter.
Oh, I love it.
Really?
Yeah. Or The Little Wars Prada.
That's a great.
That's a great
I
movie.
love
Or Monster-in-Law.
that one. Monster-in-Law. I've never seen that.
Jane Fonda. Oh, it's so good.
I know I haven't seen it.
It's good.
I have movies like sometimes like Saturday night, I'm not doing anything. I want to be inspired. And so I have my list of movies. Like,
Oh my gosh, you're so type A.
Frida Kahlo's your shoulder. That's hilarious. Well, I love to hear that. Was there anything?
You use Asana.
Asana, our project management tool we use internally. Okay, so in terms of influencing, right? Like, is there a specific message that you wanna? And this is maybe a all-encompassing question and that will not apply to everything you do, right? But is there like what kind of message do you wish? Is there a message that you wish to convey through your art? Like, right? Like maybe when you go to a museum, you're like, oh, this is like inspires me, or this connects me, or helps me connect with my ancestors. Or is there something that you wish to convey through your art as you create it, or you are pretty much like, I'll do what I feel and what I'm being driven to do at that moment?
I feel the latter. I don't think that I have like a core message, probably because I feel like I'm in a very early stage of crafting what I'm calling art. Not yet. I do absolutely love collaborative work. There's a really special moment for me during a photo shoot where somebody goes, what if we like blank, right? Insert something after that. And it's that moment where somebody else brings an idea that I did not have to begin with, that has nothing to do with what was in my head. And we embrace it together, that like, yes, this is it. This is the happy place. I really hope that my work inspires that collaborative work.
I love that.
That inspires people to like connect and work together. And I feel like, I don't know yet if when you see my photo, you're gonna go, oh my God, I'm totally gonna collaborate with her. I don't think that's the way that it carries, but I do get random messages of people saying like, hey, I want to collaborate with you. I don't know what, I don't know how. I just want to make something with you.
I love it. I think you're conveying the energy, and you're in the right place. I mean, if I may, because you don't really and truly how people perceive your art or how people see the work that you do doesn't depend on you, right? It's not your problem. You can't control. Like if we were trying to control what people thought, then we go crazy. And so people do try to do. So for you, it's more like, here's what I'm giving, and then I don't know how, but you're projecting it out there, and eventually that's how collaborations. Maybe we need to do that at work. Like, okay, guys, what program do you want to?
We do, and then we get like 100 ideas.
It's true. It's
We're
true.
like, no
But
more.
there's two kinds of people, right? Those that just give you ideas, and those that actually show up with pizza and hands and are ready to work. And those are the collaborations that happen.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Every time I come in, when I come in, I'm like, let's do this. Jose just looks at me like, just to think about all the work that needs to happen. No, but it's true. I think it's being pragmatic, right? Like you can dream. I think both are important. And I think that's why collaborations are important, because there's one that dreams it and the other one that brings you down to earth and be like, that's too expensive. We could probably do this eventually.
This is not part of the questions that we have here, but
We're off script at
I
this
know.
point.
You mentioned the movies are your biggest inspiration. Do you ever foresee you moving from photography to cinematography?
I would love to.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I
It was
I
said
would
here at
love
Centro
to.
Cultural Mexicano. When she becomes famous, remember.
I watch movies very differently than I think the average person. Luckily, the people who watch movies with me are not annoyed with the fact that I pause and rewind and point out, did you see the composition of that one? Did you notice the light changing? Oh my God, the color palette. Like I really will rewind on a movie and go back and observe things and like almost take like notes. I wish I should start taking
There you
like,
go.
wait a
Yep.
minute. I would love to. I feel like I don't have the bandwidth yet to explore video. It's like a different monster
Yeah.
to play with like colors and things like that. But I would love to. I think.
I mean, I think it's a natural step or jump there
Yeah.
because what are movies if not a series of images, right? They're like really fast in a story. And if you can, I don't remember this executive producer, Mexican, he just produced Frankenstein.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yes, he was saying how like somebody, well, I mean, obviously he's great and all these successful, if you consider him successful or not, he's famous. And somebody asked him like, how do you know who to hire? And he said, I look at their eyes. Like I know right away if they're going to be able to convey the part. And I think it's the same thing, right? Or maybe that, right? Like you look at the image and you know, is the image conveying the sentiment, right? Like, so I totally see you as a
Well, I hope this is you manifesting me working with Guillermo del Toro. If it is universe,
sending
please.
positive vibes. Hey, we manifest.
Hey,
if
girl
it's
can
not,
dream.
if it's not him, it could be a woman or like a powerful, right? So I don't know. Do you have another question, or
No, well, let's
I
go.
can dive another. I have
I
another.
feel like we gave you a list of questions to prepare. We're going off script. Here we go.
Okay. I like it.
Well, I have one.
Yeah, I don't like our
I know. I
questions
keep.
anymore.
So, I mean, we grow. I think growth is something it's a never ending story, right? Like we continue growing and we continue, sharing if we can, right? That knowledge. What would you say to your younger self, right? Like at this point of your life, you feel like you're still very much in, developing your skills, etc. But is there something that you would tell that younger lady, that younger girl, and at any point in time, younger, now to change, or maybe to encourage, or a message that you feel maybe missed, that you may have missed? Is there something that you would tell your younger self today?
I think I would strongly suggest her to stop overthinking.
There's a club, overthinker, anonymous
Just-
overthinker.
Just
And I belong there.
Just stop. Like
Yeah.
brain goes places.
Yeah.
Like not always in the ideal places.
Right.
And it's really easy to feed your brain the wrong
Yeah.
things
The
if
wrong
you're
narrative.
overthinking.
Yeah.
And I really feel like a lot shifted when I stopped overthinking. If is it good enough? If it's bright enough or fun
it
enough?
out
Or
there.
just
Yeah.
do it. Just take the thing. Just put the thing.
Yeah.
And forget about everything else. Forget about what people might say or no. I used to be so. That's a lie. I still am. I'm afraid of like being extremely cringe.
Oh.
But I think that's just overthinking.
Yeah.
It really is, like, cause who's to say, really, you're the only one who can like really judge that one.
And
Yeah.
everybody has an opinion. You might think it's not cringy, one of your artwork, but then somebody from Japan might see it. Like that's so cringy.
And it applies to everything.
You can't control what people are
No.
going to think. And also, if you think about what you're not trying to convey is what you're going to convey, because that's literally what you're
Didn't we
attracting.
just had a conversation about
Yes,
that during a
I
touch
did.
base?
It's like, don't say if you don't want somebody to think that, then don't manifest it, because the
Yeah.
minute you start thinking it, or like, then that's the energy you're putting to it. So
Well, even with events, something starting to do events here at work right before Mariana could tell with my expression, like while we'd be getting ready, I would be saying to myself like, oh my gosh, what if this falls, or what if this happens? But my boyfriend actually also helped me. He was like, maybe think about all the positive
Cause
things
right, like
that will happen with the event. And then
mhm.
I'll be like, oh, I'm done sweating. I'm going to work.
What if somebody go? No, but it's true, and I think that's in it to human beings. Like we tend to be more on the negative, or maybe it's just a
glass half full.
condition, right? Like that we. Why do we always go to that negative narrative rather than like what could go right? But our brains, we can rewire them. It's a matter of habit. Like, so if we have the tendency, and I think overthinking, that's the problem, because you're like, create all these stories. Sometimes I myself, I'm like, when I realized I created this whole story that didn't exist, and it was not the most positive, and I'm not, and you have all this stress. Yeah. And I was like, wait a minute, no, that did not even happen. And then that's when paranoia starts coming. So why, I think is rewiring our brains to the positive versus like what could go right. Like, and eventually everything is a lesson. Like if it's going to happen, it's going to happen, and what matters is your reaction to that situation, right? Like if it's a challenge, if the cake fell and it's the wedding, then it did. Like what it was, and so what? Like how do we do it? And how do you mitigate? Like mistakes are gonna happen. How do you, it's your reaction to it, right? So I love it. I can say, well, can I tell a story?
Yeah.
In dance, I dance flamenco. And it's a really complex dance, I will say. And when you start dancing solo, there's lots that could go wrong, right? Like because the guitarist could have messed up, they forgot, or you forgot your step, and now they don't know how to mitigate, right? Like they're like, where are you, etc. And one of my friend guitarists said to me, "It's not about you're gonna make mistakes. Like mistakes are gonna happen. Is what you do to mitigate that mistake, and like how do you what do you do to you forgot the step? What do you do to fill in the step, right? So." And I think that's to life. It's the same thing, right? Like, okay, you're going to make mistakes. Crap is going to happen in your life. And like, for example, right now, my phone is ringing.
Quick phone call.
But what do you do to, right? Like, so I feel that is that, the overthinking. Like, how do I retrain my brain to, not go to, to those places that I don't necessarily like?
Yeah. It's almost like just wait, like cross the bridge and then figure out what's going on instead of like overthinking all of the possible routes you can take.
Wait, however, I would say
not a plus, not yet.
I would say overthinking. Because I'm an overthinker. Like I overthink every single thing in my life. But I read this quote, or was it a TikTok, that said, "Don't mess with people who overthink because they have thought of every single interaction scenario."
Oh, Lord.
To prepare for whatever
scary.
outcome is going to be. So sometimes overthinking in small, like little tidbits help.
I do think there's...
But that's the difference between preparing, no? I don't know.
Yes. Like,
not true.
You can prepare and you can think
type
about
B,
things.
type A.
Yeah, sorry.
Because, for example, when I pack for a photo shoot, I'm a definite overpacker. Because I'm overthinking.
Yeah.
Like I could use this. Or I could use that. And I end up having like a lot of things that I don't use.
That's me when I pack for anywhere.
Because I don't...
You pack according to what you want to do on vacation, not necessarily what you're actually going to do.
Like I'm going to be there for 2 days, but I might need 5 socks.
Yeah.
A dog takes my socks.
Or 10, or the 2 books, because I don't, and then you never read when you're like, yes. Why do you do this to yourself? Well, I do think there's a thin line, and maybe it's a thin line between prepping, right? Like being someone that actually does think about the future and prepares versus somebody who, goes to what's the worst that could happen. I do think there's a difference. I do think there's a difference, right? Maybe not overthinking about all the possible outcomes. It helps, but okay. Yeah. Well, I love to talk about community. Especially here at Centro Cultural Mexicano, we love to create these spaces, right? Like via art exhibitions, via events, right? Like our events join people or create spaces for belonging, for community to connect, and not just our community, but also other communities. So how would you say, or how important it was for you, it is for you, right? Like to find a community that supports your art or supports art. Like how, maybe the answer is obvious and yes, we need it, but how's that been, your experience in the past? Maybe obviously not with us necessarily, but in the past, any organizations or any community that has helped you push you to thinking, I could be an artist or I can actually portray or hang my art or whatever the case is. Like how important has that been, your community, to being who you are?
Yeah, I think, yes, absolutely. It's so important. But it's also... it can be a little dangerous if you don't pay attention about what is it that you want to do. I am a people pleaser. And when you're used to working in community and you're a chronic people pleaser, you end up leaving yourself last. So I think it's like a beautiful lesson that I learned from plants from the farm, is that there needs to be a dormancy period. You need to rest. You need to slow down. And so you need to, I feel like that part is really important in the ways in which you engage with your community. There needs to be periods of time where you're active, you're participating, you're reaching out, you're helping out, you're putting yourself out there, you're lifting other people out. But then there also needs to be a part of your process in which you're stepping back. And you're retreating to yourself and you're playing within your brain and your heart and your own needs, because it's so easy to get lost in the helping everybody else. And like, I get really wrapped when I'm helping somebody else with a project, when I'm like, I get, my brain just doesn't turn off. That overthinking brain just doesn't stop. So I'm in the grocery store and I'm like, oh, she could do this for this idea. And like, oh my God, look. And I'm going to text you a picture and like, we could incorporate this and like plan this event. And like, my brain's going to go all over the places. But that doesn't leave bandwidth for me to think about myself. And it's been really hard. It's easy for me to talk about it because I'm trying to be intentional, but that doesn't mean that it's easy to put into practice.
100%. And I think self-care, saying no, it's a form of self-care. And, being a people pleaser comes back from, sometimes we don't realize this, but it may be a trauma when we were younger, or a trauma that was passed on to us from, parents, or like, if I say yes to them, there's no conflict, right? So I'm the one who is mitigating the conflict. Or if I say yes to this, these two are not going to fight. Or if I say, it's when we become aware, when we sometimes get to the burning point because we said yes to everything, that we're like, okay, wait a minute, who am I saying yes to? So self-care is, I think, really important. And many times it comes in the form of, no, today I have to. Today I have to just take a bath, etc.
I feel like I'm in a therapy session, right?
I love it, right?
You know what else?
And I always
like looking at my life.
I know. And my meetings with staff, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna move into lecture mode. They're like, hold on.
I just zoned out.
They let me do it because
there's also something really important that you made me think of right now about working in community, is that I think that it's especially important for people pleasers, but not only, is that you need to be able to ask.
Delegate.
Not feeling guilty,
so
right?
Many times, yes. So many times you're like, hey, can you help me? Yes. Hey, can you help me? Yes. And you can learn to set that boundary and say no. But I struggle a lot with like, hey, can you help me with this? Like, can you actually help me make this happen? Or would you be willing to reshare this thing? Or can you?
Right.
I struggle a lot asking for support. I'm never hesitant to give it. But I'm sort of wishfully thinking that somebody's just going to come and tell me, hi, you know what? I'm ready to support you. When in reality, they're probably not reading my brain.
Right.
And like,
right.
So I feel like that those elements of working in community are so important.
100%.
Lean in, step back, and ask for support, for help, for share, for whatever it is that you're needing.
I recently saw a video about like the debate between people saying like nobody's going to come and save you. But then other people are saying, yes, people are there to save you. You just have to put the will into motion.
Right. To accept the help, right? Like, because everybody's willing. You would do it for your friends. I'm sure they would do it for you. I think it goes to, you can't give what you don't have, right? And if you're giving and giving and giving, but you're not receiving, like, that is not a sustainable model. And this is how, like, we end up burning and we end up...
Mother Earth. We're exhausting all of our resources.
Yes. Well, yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. So I think it comes down to, like, relationships it's whether we see that way or not, right? Like, it's a giving. It's like a plant, right? It's like you have to nurture it and you have to feed it and and it goes both ways, right? As much as I give you, you're going to give me, right? And if that dynamic is somewhat disrupted, whether it's because we don't know how to accept it or give or whatever, it's not sustainable, right?
You need
for
to
yourself, right? Exactly. I love it.
Back to the questions.
Yes.
So this is our final episode of the year. So I feel like we should ask New Year
New Year resolutions? Ooh,
Yeah.
is that?
So, oh, go ahead.
No, please, yeah.
If you could describe your year in one word, as
Ooh.
an artist or personally, what would it be and why?
I feel it's a hard because I think that the hardest part is using one word, right? I just want to
You
go
can use
on
several
and on.
words. You can cheat. It's fine. You can use a whole paragraph.
It's been fulfilling.
Okay.
It's been really fulfilling. I feel like really early on the year, I was having coffee with a friend, and I was talking to her about how I wanted to do something different, something new, something, and she's a close friend. She's also a photographer, and we have very different styles. We do very different things, and there was like this moment of silence where we weren't talking, which is really, really rare when we're having coffee. And then I said, "What about chickens?" And she's like, "What about chickens? What if we do something with chickens?" "What do you mean something with?" "I don't know, chickens."
That's an idea.
And she just like looked at me and went, "Okay, do you have chickens?" "No, but I know some farmers that might have chickens."
You have chickens, Danny? Sorry.
Yeah,
I
have
caught
6 chickens right now.
completely cut the conversation. And so, what did that mean? Like,
And so I texted a friend and like, "Hey, do you have one of those chickens that look like this?" And like, and he was like, "Yeah, I have two. Like, do they want to model for me?" I'm like, "Yeah."
you have to show us these.
And then we did this like chicken shoot. I went to meet
Were they
the
good
chickens.
models?
Oh my god, they were the worst.
They're probably like,
They did no. I had all these ideas in mind of how it was gonna be super aesthetic, and the chickens were gonna do this, and the chickens couldn't care less about any of my plans. But when I went to meet the chickens, he was there with his wife, and I kind of looked at them like, do y'all want to like play with me? And they were like, okay. And so we ended up doing the shoot at their house with their chickens and they're so cool. It was so fun. It was exhilarating to do something so different and for no purpose at all.
I love it.
There was no goal. There was no end game. Just I thought, I don't even know why the chickens popped in my head.
That also teaches you, right? Like to be how to say this? Like think at the last minute, think creatively. Okay, they're moving too much. What do I do? Right? Like it is a skill to gain when you're taking pictures. Maybe with children, right? Like they're like, I don't want to do this, and then you learn how to do that. I love it.
Yeah.
I love chickens. Please share that.
Yes, and it's so important to surround yourself with people who are willing, who are willing to just go along with you. Because during our planning months, I would just kind of like mention random things to her, like, oh, well, maybe some like fabric, like a lacy fabric or something like that, and I was sure that she wasn't even paying attention anymore because I was yapping. But then when we actually showed up to do the photos, she looked at me and was like, "Hey, I set you up the lace over there." And I was like, "Whoa!" And the light was beautiful, and they were like, so they've never modeled before. They're farmers. They're amazing, beautiful people.
So for a second, I'm like, are we still talking about the chickens?
The humans. Well, actually, neither of them had any modeling experience.
Which chickens didn't either.
But it was so cool.
So
it was so fun. And a couple of months later, and somebody else was like, "Hey, I saw your chicken photos, and I really want you to take photos at my wedding."
You never know what one thing leads to. You follow
really
your
never
intuition,
know.
even if it doesn't make sense. Take pictures of chickens. Jump
Yes.
that. Do it. I love it.
Beautiful wedding. The bride was riding a horse.
I was just looking at those pictures.
Horses to me are like big dogs. I literally think it's.
It was the dream. The light also was beautiful. Everything was so perfect, and that was this really fulfilling. The fact that I played with my friends and their chickens.
And you didn't, you got out of that goal, like goals anyway. The purpose was just to have fun in life. We need to just sometimes be spontaneous and have fun and not think about there is a goal, there's an outcome, etc. Well, I know we asked you a lot of questions off script, but is there anything that you want to share that we didn't talk about that maybe you want people to know about, or anything that you want to share?
I think I want to share that I saw on your website the call for art probably 2 years ago.
Oh.
And I had it in a tab open.
Did we do our job? Okay.
Well, 2 years ago.
We were not there. No.
Years ago.
Okay.
I had it in the tab. I thought about it. I sat with my artist statement and I proceeded to overthink. And then I closed the tab.
Ooh.
And then I did it again. And then I did it again. And so on. Until one day I was like, let's just do this. Stop overthinking. Just do the thing. And it was so cool. My artist exhibited here.
Yeah.
I'm talking with all of you. I'm connecting with you and other people in my community.
Was that timing, right?
Yeah, that was a good time.
And to be honest, your photography during the exhibition
Had a lot of attention.
Yeah, people kept
Yes.
like, is that a painting? And just circling it back to what you said in the beginning about lighting. Now your photography makes so much more sense to me because there's so much lighting that to me it made my brain confused in a good way.
Yay.
Artistic lighting.
Yeah.
No, it's true. A lot of people are like,
sorry
is
to
that
cut you off.
No, I love it.
artistic lighting? No, I think, and then I think now that as you explain it, it makes sense because you look at light in different ways and it portrays and it shows. And I think that's what people are seeing. So
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about who you are, a little bit about your story. Please know that Centro Cultural Mexicano is your home, and this is just the beginning of a great relationship. And I'm sure there's going to be other art exhibitions with
Chicken
more
exhibit.
opportunity. Hey, we should talk. Yeah, let's.
An animal exhibit.
You heard it here. People are gonna be like, "Where's the chicken exhibition?" So, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Patty. Thank you so much for your willingness to share and be. Sometimes there are vulnerable moments when we share about ourselves. So, thank you so much. And I am sure there'll be other people listening, other little girls, hopefully listening to your story and being encouraged to be that artist or call it out. I'm an artist. So, thank you so
One
much.
last question.
Yeah.
Who's your biggest fan? Your 13-year-old or 6-year-old?
My 13.
Okay.
My 13.
They're like, Mom.
Yeah.
And you never know. You may be influencing both. You don't know. And I mean, you
Probably,
definitely are,
yes.
but you never know.
I feel like recently I got a compliment from my daughter that meant a lot. Yes, one, because it hit the spot, like personally, like, oh wow, I didn't know I needed that validation. Like my heart's happy right now.
We all do need the
But,
validation.
but
From other
also,
people.
like a teenager
Yeah, I was
giving
gonna
you
say that.
an
A Gen Z?
unsolicited compliment. Like,
I'll take it.
Oh yeah.
I love it. Yes, when family becomes the biggest supporter and they're also biggest critics, I think it's amazing. Well, love it. Thank you so much for again sharing your
Thank you.
story. Again, hopefully we'll see you once again when we have a 100th episode. Maybe you'll come back. But yeah, so thanks for joining our show. I do want to, in closing, I love to share a little bit about some of the programs, if you don't mind, that are important to share. For all of those of you who are here, if you're listening to this, and if you're listening to this and know that someone may be benefiting or may benefit from these programs, please share. So we support small businesses through a few programs, and we're going to start a really fun and comprehensive training starting next year, where we're going to support small businesses in different ways. But if you are someone who's thinking about opening your business or starting maybe even, or have already a business, come with us. We can definitely support you there. Right now, the world is crazy and we know lots of things are happening. So we started a program where we're providing flexible finance aid. So please look at our social media, and there's an application there, or there's an application, there's a form that you can fill out to request this type of aid. So that is coming up pretty soon. And then in terms of events, what's coming up, Jose?
So the last event of the year is our annual toy giveaway event. It's taking place on December 20th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in our main office. Registration is required, so please pay attention on our social media flyers to follow the instructions correctly. It's going to be fun. You can take a picture with Santa Claus.
Ooh, yes, for kids. Yeah.
It's going to be music, just happiness all around. So it'll be a good time. So stay tuned for the flyers to come out with more details.
Awesome. And Makerspace.
In Makerspace, if you want to make DIY gifts. We have a lot of materials here.
Lots of art,
Yeah.
lots of, I mean, Danny can say 3D printing, all of these machines I have no idea how to
Ceramic
use.
cups, t-shirts, laser cutters. So for any last minute gifts, if you want to make something very special, come to our makerspace.
Yeah. Our makerspace is geared toward youth. So if you're a young
not everybody.
person, yeah. I mean, you're an adult, sure. It's mainly for youth, but yes. Okay, awesome. Well, that's that. Thank you, everyone. This is the last episode of the year, but the next time, remember, we do publish our podcast once a month, second Friday of every month. So coming up in January, I can't remember the date, but it will be the second Friday of January. We'll have more guests. And yes, thank you so much,
Thank
Patty,
you,
once
Patty.
again. And we'll see you soon. Thanks,
Yay.
everyone.
Thank you, Patty. Also, where can we follow you?
Oh, bad host. Yes. What your social media? How can people follow you? Yeah.
Yeah, you can find me
Oh.
as Patty, Patty dot
Should have read that.
Zavala,
Mhm.
Z as in zebra, AVAL, or check out my website, pattyzc.com.
Awesome. Thank you, Danny, for keeping us
thank
keeping me
you.
accountable. Awesome. All right. Well, follow Patty, follow us on social media for everything that's coming up. If we don't see you before the end of the year, have a fantastic end of year. Happy holidays, and we'll see you all next year.
Yeah,
Thanks
2026.
again. Whoa.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I just had to do that one. That one was funny.